So we come and lie on the back. So make sure that the knees are bent. And you can either roll up a towel or a blanket, or you can have flat brick. So as you come and lie down, you want the bottom brick to be just at the base of your shoulder blades. So you can fidget a little bit. So then the second brick needs to really support the head so that you feel the back of the neck is long, nose pointing straight up to the ceiling, not back or down towards your knees. So you can have it at whichever height seems to work, and this should feel comfortable. So the brick is horizontally across the shoulder blades. Turn the palms up, arms at the sides. And you can feel in this position as we lift the upper back that we're making space around the heart center. So right in the center of the sternum. So a rolled up blanket or a couple of flat bricks, a couple of cushions, whatever is going to work for you so that you're lifted through the chest and they go into the back of the heart center, the back of the sternum. But the neck needs to be comfy, so make sure you have enough props. And take your time just to settle into it. And as you start to steady the breath, so smooth inhale, matching a steady exhale. Draw your attention to that center of your sternum in yoga, that's your heart center. And in the chakra system, it's green. It's a green wheel of energy in the center of your chest, the heart center. And see if you can breathe into that space as the shoulders open, the front of the shoulder girdle opens. As you take the breath a little more deeply this Monday morning. And the Anahata chakra is associated, of course, with love, the heart center. And with joy and with that feeling of contentment, which sometimes can feel difficult to attain. But today in particular, it's about trying to draw that feeling of love into the self, compassion, joy, love. So we think about the people that we love the most. See if you can feel that feeling, that sort of indescribable feeling. And see how it feels just to turn it towards ourselves. To treat ourselves with as much compassion and forgiveness and equanimity as we can with those around us whom we love. So let's take another breath, this time inhale. And take the arms overhead. Try to keep the shoulder blades pressing down into your brick or your cushion. And reach back brightly through the fingertips. So spread the fingertips wide. And take a deep breath, and you might find it triggers a yawn. Just trust your body. Take a couple of breaths here, back of the neck long. And again, see if you can breathe through the side body, through the front body, opening up over the heart, reaching back. Another breath, arms reaching back. And as you exhale, bring the arms back down to your sides. And I take the hands underneath the hips just to push up onto the elbows. Come to the side, just enough to bring the props out. And then come and lie on your back. You might feel a little bit more aware of that space behind the heart center, your upper back. And as you lie here, you may feel a little more open through the chest as well. So bring the arms down to the floor and bring the shoulder blades and tuck them in towards the spine. So as you allow your upper back to flatten back into the mat, the collarbones feel open, you feel open over the heart center. Turn the palms down this time. And as you inhale, allow the pelvis to tilt forwards. So the gap underneath your lumbar spine increases as the pelvis tilts forwards, belly button down towards pubic bone. And then as you exhale next time, a gentle push into the feet and allow the pelvis to tilt back the other way. So the space under your back flattens and the belly button tips towards your rib cage. So moving with your breath, feel the movement in your spine and take it steady. You don't want to find your full range of movement, particularly on this extension, this anterior tilt. You want to slowly, each time you make a move, a breath, move a little more. See if you can feel each vertebra moving, feeling a little freer. And as you exhale, almost feel as if you're going to lift the tailbone as you draw the belly down towards the floor, tilting the pelvis backwards. Let's do 3 more breaths. An inhale and an exhale as one. Feeling the spine move on the floor. A sense of lengthening as well as a lift on your inhale. And a drawing back, a stretch to the lumbar spine as you exhale. There's a drawing together of the sit bones on the exhale, but not too much gripping in the buttocks. One more breath. And exhale. This time as you inhale, to keep the pelvis in neutral and sweep the arms overhead again. And then begin to push into the floor with your feet and lift the pelvis. So just a little Setu Bandha Savasana bridge pose. Back of the neck stays long. Press the back of the skull, the palate towards the floor. And then as you exhale this time, allow the vertebra to slowly, one vertebra at a time, lay back to the floor. And at the end of the exhale, we lift the knees. And you could have a little rock. So inhale, push into the feet, curl the spine up, come into bridge, take the arms overhead. As you exhale, everything slowly moving in coordination with your breath. Bring the knees in. So a little bit more dynamic movement for the spine. And at the end of the inhale, as you lift the pelvis, can you lift and open the heart? So you've got a little lift in the chest as well. Exhaling, laying the spine back to the floor. If it feels good, you could even lift the nose towards the knees with the end of the exhale. If it feels too much on the shoulder girdle or it doesn't feel comfortable to take the arms overhead on the inhale, you can keep the arms at your sides. That's absolutely fine. Lowering down and pulling in. Let's do 2 more breaths. Draw the sit bones together on the inhale, pushing a little higher each time, but moving with that sense of equanimity, of kindness to yourself. Don't go too far if that's not what your body's ready for. Lovely. So pulling the knees in, have a little rock, circle the knees one way and the other way. And then coming to your side, let's come up onto hands and knees. Hands underneath the shoulders. Knees hip width apart underneath your hips. So make sure that the hip flexors here are a little bit open. So we don't want to close that space here. We want to be nice and open. So take the knees back a tiny little bit. And as we move into cat-cow, your inhale draws the shoulder blades away from the ears and you lengthen from the crown to the sit bones. Exhale, push into the floor with the hands, tuck the tail, tuck the chin, and move with your breath. Feel every part of your spine start to loosen up, wake up. You can feel that gentle opening of the heart center as you inhale, draw the shoulders back. Lovely. Do a couple more breaths here. Good. Come into neutral. So we want to keep the hips high here and not sit them back or let them come forward of the knees. So there's a nice straight line from the middle of the knee joint to the middle of the hip. Start to reach the hands forwards, and you can have the hands pretty wide, and then the heart is going to come down towards the floor. If you're open in the shoulders, you might find that the head comes to the floor. You can flatten the palms, or you can have your palms lifted and be pressing the fingertips into the floor. Whatever feels better for your shoulders. If you have a pinchy shoulder, take the hand wider. Broaden the sit bones. So as you broaden the sit bones, keep a little tone for the belly. And then notice the back of the heart center and see if we can polish that with our breath. So let it melt a little towards the floor and breathe into the back of the heart center, so that space between the shoulder blades. Have a gentle feeling of pressing the hands down into the floor. So the armpits are lifted, you're not collapsing the arms down. So the shoulder blades are still drawing away from the ears. You've got the muscles that draw the shoulder blade down and in a little bit. They're engaged. Breathe into the back of the heart center as you melt the heart towards the floor. Doesn't matter if your head is on the mat or not. You can have your hands wide if your shoulders aren't comfortable. Press the hands into the floor and have another breath in. Push into the hands to come up, lifting your head. We're keeping the pelvis as it is. Walk the hands over to the left. Take the right hand on top of the left. And this time sit the hips back a little bit until you find the stretch in the right side of the body. And breathe into what you feel here. So you might find that it's more around the armpit, the rib cage. It might be more in the waist or the hips. Breathe into it. Come up a little to walk the hands all the way over to the right. Take the left hand on top and just sit the hips back a little so that you get a stretch in the left body. And again, wherever you feel the stretch, breathe into it. Take your breath back. And then let's come back up to the center. Reach the left arm forwards in line with the shoulder. And you're going to twist as you take the right arm underneath. Right, so the palm is up to the ceiling, and hopefully you'll have your head on the floor, the right shoulder on the floor. Yeah, and you can bend that left elbow and bring the hand just in front of the brow. As you push into your left hand, can you wrap that left shoulder around towards the spine so you get a little bit more space. If you feel okay here, you could take the left hand off the floor and just wrap it around the back towards the right hip. Open up the shoulders. Take a breath. Let's bring that back to center. Lifting up the head, the torso, reaching the right arm out in line with the shoulder, thread the left underneath, bring the left shoulder down, and then bend the right elbow to bring the hand in front of the brow so that you can push down into the floor and wrap that right shoulder in towards the spine, down away from the ear. If you feel stable here and it doesn't give you any discomfort, you can wrap that right hand all the way around towards the left hip flexor. You might be able to reach it. Open up the heart, open up the shoulders. Take another breath. And then start to unravel and come back up. And we'll come up to downward facing dog. So make sure you feel that you've got enough space here between the feet and the hands. So you draw the shoulders away from the ears, lift sit bones so you can have soft knees here and just walk out the feet for a moment. We're going to come forwards to plank. So drop your knees if you wish. Otherwise, come forwards into plank and just drop the right knee, bend the right knee and twist over to the left. Come back to plank, drop the left knee, twist over to the right. So you're just having a slightly twisty plank here. A little bit to each side. Feel a stretch through the sides. Little twist through the torso. And then drop the knees, keep the shoulders over the wrists. And here we're just going to come into our nose chest, chin, and press through. So we're going to bend the elbows come down to the floor, take the nose to the floor, and then the chin, and then the chest, and come onto your belly and find your way into baby cobra. Press back onto your knees, take it back, downward facing dog. So we'll do that a couple more times. We come forwards into plank, have a little twist as you drop the knee to the opposite side, twist through the torso a couple of times. Center, drop the knees, bend the elbows to the floor, take the knee, the nose, the chin, the chest through, baby cobra, inhale. Push up onto the knees, find your way back, downward facing dog. Just warming up the body, inhale, forwards into plank, twist, twist, and again, twist, twist. Drop the knees, bend the elbows, feel the arms work, nose, chin, chest, onto your belly, cobra. Press back onto the knees and find downward facing dog. Warming up the body, warming up the spine. Take a deep breath here. We're going to come forwards into plank again, drop the knees, and then bring the elbows to the floor underneath your shoulders. Turn the palms down. So we have choices here again, just to switch the core on, build a little bit of heat. It's chilly this morning. Walk the knees back. So we can be here in this version of forearm plank, and we really want to draw the belly up towards the spine. Draw the shoulders away from the ears and push into the forearms. Now, if you want to make it stronger, just lift the knees, coming into forearm plank. Let's see if we can do 5 breaths. 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop to the knees, walk the hands back and just rest for a moment in child's pose. Knees wide or knees narrow, up to you. Well done, everyone. Take the weight forwards a little bit and just step the hands towards the wrists and come into a forward fold. Bend the knees and just swing the hips a little. Feel a little loosening around the hips, the spine. Great. And then come into Ardha Uttanasana. So firming the legs, pressing into the feet, hands to the shins. Lengthen forwards as you inhale. And then soften the knees as you exhale. And then we'll sweep the hands all the way up to standing, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands in front of the heart, lovely. I've chopped off my head. Let's see if I can get that at a better angle. I'm on the wrong tech this morning. Sorry. There we go, we'll try that. Hopefully you can see me. Ish. So hands to the back of the pelvis. Yeah. So here, we've got fingertips pressing down or pointing down to the floor, thumbs out wide. Roll the shoulder blades into the back of the heart and feel a gentle press of the elbows towards each other. So here we've got an opening through the front of the heart center. Lovely. And coming into the front of your mat. So the hands, as they push into the back of the pelvis and lengthen down towards the floor, help you then to tone the belly and lengthen the tailbone at the same time. So you feel really strong pushing into your feet from the center of your pelvis. And just look up a little bit. We keep our hands there as we soften the knees and start to bow into Uttanasana. Keep lifting the shoulder blades away from the floor. And then inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. If this is too strong on your back, you soften the knees and have the hands to the shins. Lovely. Now release the hands to the floor. Step the left foot back and you can drop the knee here. Keep the right hand on the floor, sweep the left arm alongside your ear and start to lift up the arm. Good. Reaching up, opening up the left side of the body. Yeah. Bring that left hand down, sweep the right arm alongside your ear, and again, lift up, this time into a twist. Good, rooting into the left hand, sweeping the right fingertips towards the ceiling, take the gaze up. Can you hug the hips together a little bit? And feel as if you can rotate and open up a little bit more. Exhale, hands to the floor. Great, lift the back knee and step back into downward facing dog. Lovely, just walk the feet out a little. Inhale, lift the left leg, and exhale, step it forwards, drop the right knee down. The left hand can be on the outside of that left foot. You can have your hand on the brick. Good, start to push into the left hand and open up through the right side of the body as you lift the gaze, lift the arm. See if you can feel a stretch coming all the way from the hip, maybe even the quadricep, the front of your thigh. Reaching up, open up a little bit more. And then bring your right hand down and open up into a twist to the other side. Yeah, as you push into your right hand, can you feel the torso twist? Open the chest even towards the ceiling. Another quarter turn. Good, can you feel the chest, the heart open up? And then exhale, hands to the floor. Lift the back knee, step back, downward facing dog. You just take a couple of breaths here, pushing into the hands from the back of the heart. So allow the shoulder blades to slide in towards the spine, down away from your shoulders. And from that area at the back of your Anahata chakra, your heart center, can you root back into the hands? And take another breath here. And then we look to the thumbs, step forwards. Take the hands, soften the knees, take the hands onto the back of the sacrum again, and lift the shoulders away from the floor, hug the elbows towards each other, tone the belly. And then when you're ready, start to lift the heart. Good, coming all the way up. Can you lift the sternum towards the ceiling? Let the hands help you lengthen the tailbone and then sweep the arms up. And maybe you come into a little back bend. And exhale, hands to the heart. Let's inhale this time. See if you can get that lift. Circle the arms round, bring the hands to the back of the sacrum. Keep the lift in the sacrum, the tone in the belly. As you soften the knees and fold. Inhale, you can release your hands here if you wish, or keep them on your sacrum. Lengthen forwards. And then as we exhale, take the hands to the floor. Step the right foot back this time. And drop the knee. Sweep the arms all the way up, bring them back onto the sacrum, and see if you can hug the elbows in towards each other a little bit more, opening up the chest. Again, lengthen the tailbone there. Nice. And as you look up, try not to compress the back of your neck. So the back of your neck stays long. The lift comes from the sternum. You take your ears back, your throat back. Lovely, inhale, sweep the arms up. As you exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together as you bend the elbows into the sides of your body. Inhale, lift, exhale, squeeze. Do one more, inhale, lift, exhale, squeeze. Inhale, lift, exhale, hands to the floor, lift the back knee, step back, downward facing dog. Just take a couple of breaths here. And then inhale, the right leg lifts. Exhale, step it forwards, drop the left knee down. Sweep the arms up and all the way around, hands to the back of the sacrum. Lengthen the tailbone. Again, see, can you open up the heart? Feel as if you're shining out from the heart center here. Hug the elbows together, lengthening tailbone. So we have to keep this, that's part of your core, switched on just a little to support the back as we come into little mini back bend here. Sweep the arms up. And again, feel the lift from the sternum, but you're keeping tone to the belly, lengthen the tailbone. and pressing the ears back, the throat back. Good, take another inhale as you exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades into the heart, so steady in the lower body. Good, inhale, exhale, squeeze, lifting the heart. No pressure on the neck, so look forwards if your neck feels uncomfortable, squeeze in. Let's do 2 more, inhale, exhale, squeeze and open, last one. Inhale, exhale, squeeze, lift the heart. Inhale, raise the arms, exhale, take the hands to the floor, lift the back knee, step back, downward facing dog. And you can walk through the feet just a little, and then settle into your down dog again, feeling the rooting into the hands from the back of the heart. Make the hands firm into the floor, the arms hug together. Awareness in the back of your heart center, the back of the shoulder girdle. You're looking to the thumbs. Step, you could jump forwards, inhaling, lengthen forwards, tone the belly. Exhale, fold. And as you come up, sweep the arms up and circle them round, taking the hands to the back of the sacrum one more time. Lift the heart, lengthen the tailbone, supporting the spine. Take the ears back, the throat back, and then sweep the arms up. From the pelvis, press into your feet and open the heart to the ceiling. Lovely. Exhale, hands come to the heart. Good, so you need your one brick handy. Can you see me okay? Yeah. Give myself a little bit more space. So you have a choice here, again, as we open up the front of the body. If your shoulders feel open enough, you can interlink the hands behind your back, squeeze the shoulder blades in, and then as we straighten the elbows, you can lift the hands away. So this, if your shoulders like it, this is a nice way of opening up the heart center, the chest. If you're not so comfortable with that, then come back to this version here where you're hugging the elbows together. It just gives you a bit more lift in the anterior shoulder here. I'm going to do the arm version. So draw the shoulder blades into the back of the heart, lifting the chest, and you can see what tends to happen as we lose all that energy out of the front of the pelvis. So begin to lengthen the tailbone, press the inner thighs back, draw the belly up so you're firmly rooting into the feet and not just collapsing. Lovely. Take an inhale here. Widen the feet as wide as your sticky mat and start to fold. Maybe you can take the arms overhead, but keep lifting the shoulders away from the floor. So you don't want to collapse the front of the shoulders here. We're lifting, squeezing in. You can soften the knees if you wish. Great. As you start to come up, you're going to step the right foot back. And here the foot is, you probably can't see my foot, the foot is flat into a warrior one stance. So your hips are facing forwards, belly button facing forwards, but the distance between the feet is hip width. The back toes are pointing to the top right-hand corner of your mat, opening up, and then bow to the inside of that front knee. So we're going to release the hands and find your brick. And bring the brick to the outside of your left foot. Good, sweep the right arm alongside your ear. You're going to step your right foot back in line with the left heel and a little bit further. And we're going to start to transition into Trikonasana. So straighten the front knee. Take the top arm up, open up the shoulders, pushing the left hand into your brick. And use a brick even if you can take your fingers to the floor, usually in Trikonasana, because it gives you more space in that underside to then open up. If it feels okay on your shoulders, you could start to take your right hand all the way around to the left hip and open up the shoulders a little bit more. But if that doesn't feel good, if that feels as if it closes you down, you keep the top arm up. Lengthen forwards to the crown of the head. Lovely. So then we're going to start to come up, bring your brick with you, turn the feet parallel and then turn the right toes forward, step back into warrior one. So to do that, you step your left foot out to the side a little bit, your brick is handy. The left toe is pointing in the direction of the top left-hand corner of your mat, but your feet are hip width apart, you're not on a tight rope. And here again, you can interlink the hands, lift the heart, support the spine, draw your belly back, and lifting up, or you can have your hands on your sacrum. Good, and then bow to the inside of that left knee. Keep the right knee's bent, but don't forget your left foot. Keep pushing into both feet evenly. And lift the front of the shoulders away from the floor. Take a breath. One more warrior. Release the hands, find your brick, take the brick to the outside of that right foot, and you step the left foot back so that the arch is in front, in line with the front heel, a slightly longer stance. And then we start to take the left arm up, straighten the right knee, and transition into Trikonasana to this side. Nice, so you hug that right hip underneath. And think about opening the heart center as you push your right hand into your brick. You can take the left hand towards the right hip, wrapping the arm around and opening up the chest if that feels good. Otherwise, keep that lift in the left hand. Let's take another breath here, Trikonasana. And then sweep the hands to the floor. Again, turn the pelvis so that the left hip comes forwards and drop your left knee down. I don't know if you can see my mat anymore. I might come and have an adjust, but we're going to come into lizard pose here. So here I'm going to grab both bricks. And as it's a Monday morning, I'm going to be kind to myself, channeling that compassion and kindness to myself. And have quite high bricks here. As we come and take the elbows down, kind of in a diagonal towards the top left-hand corner of the mat. So then just check in with your right knee. You might need to walk the right foot out to the side a little bit. And then your knee and your toes need to be in line. So maybe you turn the right toes out 45 degrees. And bow. And you can be on the ball of the left foot. That will give you a tiny bit more opening through the front of the right hip. If that doesn't feel comfortable, then you can just flatten the left hip. Sorry, you can flatten the toes down. Good. Now, even in this bowing pose, can you open the chest a little bit? So can you start to push your elbows into your bricks so that your shoulder blades draw into the back of the heart a little? See me better then. So what we're saying here is we don't want to be here hunched in the back of the heart and closing into front of the sternum. We want to be able to lengthen forwards, open up the heart a little bit. Yeah. Have another breath here. And then just walk, come up onto your hands. Now you can have a choice here. You could grab a strap if it's helpful, or you're going to just do the twist. So we're going to lift the left foot off the floor, start to sweep the right hand round and see if you can find your left foot and come into your twisted lizard or twisted lunge with a thigh stretch. So options here, if that isn't working for you, there should be no pain. Okay, it should feel stretchy, but not painy. You see that wrap the right shoulder into the heart. Back of the heart. Otherwise, you could be here. If that's easier. Yeah, so just take it into more of a deep twisted lizard. Yeah. Take another breath wherever you are. And then bring the right knee next to the left knee. And you're going to step your left foot forwards and find your bricks. So we take lizard to the other side. And we are not built symmetrically. So if you find on this side you need your hips lower or higher, then go ahead and do what you need to. So you could even have your bricks on their highest setting. And what we want to do is to try not to collapse in the heart center. So you want to keep the collarbones open, pushing down into the bricks, drawing the shoulder blades still into the back of the heart. You can still rest your head down. And just see if you can get a little heavier through the pelvis. You can keep some tone to the lower belly. Release through the hips. And then start to transition. So you can either take it into a twist, so stay low through the pelvis, your right hand is grounding, and you can take it just up into a twist here. Or I need to adjust just to reach back for the foot and come back into the lunge. You can take it into a thigh stretch. Open up the heart, squeeze the shoulder blades into the back of the heart, whichever version you're in. And then lengthen the crown of the head forward. So try to unscrunch the neck. Yeah. Can you get a sense of lift through the heart center, front of your chest? And don't worry if you can't reach back for that foot, if the knee doesn't like it. Just come into a twisted lunge. Show the body a little compassion. Choose the version that works for you. And let's release that one. Take the hands to the floor, bring the left knee next to the right. And just press back into child or puppy dog. And then walk the hands round, transition onto your back. And scooch the hips forwards. If you want to do a more restorative bridge, then you can have your brick handy. Otherwise, we're going to do bridge again. So first of all, roll the shoulder blades underneath the rib cage in towards the spine. So already we start to feel a lift in the sternum, the chest. And then hug the elbows in towards the body a little bit more. So you can press the triceps, the back of the arm into the floor. The elbows are bent, fingertips pointing towards the ceiling. And firmly plant your feet hip width apart. Great. And probably about a foot from your sit bones. So then to lift, feel as if from the core of your pelvis, you're starting to pour all of your weight into your feet. And as you pour the weight down into your feet, the pelvis lifts. Keep pouring the weight down into the earth, into your feet. The knees can float forwards. And the arms push into the floor to help to lift not only the pelvis, keeping the tailbone long, so we're not collapsing here in the lumbar spine. The chest, the sternum, the heart center start to lift towards the chin. Press the palate back into the floor. Lovely. And then you can stay here with the arms bent, pressing the arms into the floor, lifting the pelvis. So the chest lifts towards the chin. Or if you feel you have more space, you can interlink the hands and even wrap the upper arms under a little, open through the chest. And let's take 3 more breaths. Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. Feel as if you're lengthening the tailbone, even as the sit bones draw together. Shouldn't feel this in the lumbar spine. Rounding through the feet, all 4 corners of your feet, not just the outside edges. Let's have 1 more breath. And then release the arms, and from the back of the heart center, begin to melt the spine back to the floor, little by little. And when the pelvis comes to the floor, just let the arms release to the side. Keep the knees bent. And take a deep breath. Feel the body settle back into the earth. Steady the breath. And then straighten the legs if Shavasana is for you in this position. Alternatively, you can have the knees bent, the feet wide, let the knees rest together, or even be in Supta Baddha Konasana with the soles of the feet together. So choose how you want to relax for the last few minutes of our short morning practice. And just let the body settle. And as you breathe, can you feel as if you're breathing a clarity, a clear stream of energy over that third chakra, the heart chakra, the Anahata chakra, green glowing light in the chest, dusting off the heart, they say. And seeing if we can really tap into that sense of love and compassion, of kindness and equanimity, not just to those around us, but to ourselves. Letting the skin soften, the jaw soften. Releasing into Shavasana. Begin to breathe a little more deeply. And start to find some movement in the fingers, the toes. If it feels good, then maybe have a stretch. Hug the knees in. And then come to seated when you're ready, no rush. And with love, and with gratitude. Namaste.